Hello again, friends, and welcome back to another demonstration of Bomb Squad Academy. Last time we navigated the perils of pulse generation, and now we're going to move on to timers and detonators. Timers count down, detonators blow stuff up. Got it? Good. See if you can beat these levels. First, some introductions. The next component we will look at is the timer. The timer will count down every time it receives current. When the counter reaches 0, it will supply current to its output pin. Obviously, right now it counts down every second. But if you supply constant current to the clock pin, the timer will count down extremely fast. Give it a try, make the buzzer go off. So now it's receiving constant current instead of the pulses from this oscillator. I'm going to click I'm done to speed this up. Click here to continue. This familiar looking device is a detonator. It looks very much like the detonation controller we've been dealing with until now. So long as it is powered, sending any current down the detonate pin will send a spark down the detonation wire. Go ahead, turn the switch on. So it's ticking down here. Whoops, if this was a real bomb, we'd be dead right now. Now this is an important point. The only way to stop these timers is either to stop the clock signal or to stop the power, because there is no disarm on this detonator. Turn it off so we can continue. Okay. I know that was a lot, but don't sweat it. You have plenty of time to defuse this bomb. Good luck. Alright. Now, the output of this timer goes through this OR gate and will trigger the detonator. Whatever we do, we cannot have this OR satisfied. Now, the other input to this OR is going to this exclusive OR, but that exclusive OR is receiving input on both sides, so we don't have to worry about this sending a signal as long as these two legs remain powered. And for that reason, we cannot cut this red wire. However, if you notice, the clock, or the timer, is receiving its clock pulses from this wire connected to this oscillator. So if we cut this wire, the timer will no longer receive pulses and count down the timer. So let's cut this now. Congrats, you saved everyone. Okay, so that was a good example of stopping the timer by cutting the clock source. Try to defuse this next bomb. Alright, we have a detonator with no disarms. We have an AND gate here. Now, if this timer counts down, no matter what, it's going to send a signal through this AND gate. The only way we can stop the bomb from going off is to cut power to this input on the AND. And in order to do that, we need current flowing through this leg of the exclusive OR gate. And of course that means we have to satisfy this AND. Now, this input is connected to this switch. Now let's look at this leg. This AND is half satisfied. We can fully satisfy it by turning this switch. Now if you notice, this exclusive OR is receiving inputs on both sides. Nothing is going through this leg of the AND. So even if the timer transmits a signal, it'll get stopped right here. So let's click I'm done and speed things up. You did it. It took guts to wait the bomb out. Well, that's good. Alright. So let's go on to the next level. Go ahead, defuse the bomb. Alright. So we have another OR gate. And again, as long as we have current flowing through both of these legs, this side of the ore will not be satisfied. But the problem is, if the timer runs out, current will flow through the ore and then to the detonator. So we need to stop either power to the clock or stop clock pulses from coming into the timer. Now, let's see what we have here. Let's see, if we cut power to this wire, then no signal will flow through this OR gate, which is one of the clock legs. Let's cut this wire. Alright, now let's look at what we've got here. This pathway is flowing into the OR, so we have to find a way to cut this off. Well, we have this AND gate. If we cut this wire, then this clock pulse will hit the and go no further. So let's cut this wire. Great. Alright, so that basically froze the clock and we're safe. Alright, let's move on to the next. You know what to do. And there's a hint here that says disable power. Alright. We have an AND gate here that's already half satisfied. We have an OR gate here, and it's receiving power from here. And so we could, the problem is, this is an OR gate, which means that what we really need is, we need power to come in here so that nothing goes through here, and if we combine that with cutting this wire, we'll be in good shape. Now, I don't see any dependency, so we can start by cutting this wire. Okay, now we just have to find a way to get current to flow through this wire to stop have the exclusive OR stop it. Now, is there a way that we can get this exclusive OR to pass current? Well, we have current flowing through here that we can't stop, but we can stop the current by cutting this wire. Alright, now let's see what we've got. If we have signal coming out of the timer when time runs out, it will flow through this OR, but it will be stopped by this AND because this leg of the AND gate is unpowered. So we should be able at this point to just wait it out. So let's do that now. Exactly. You're getting pretty good at this, aren't you? Yes, I am. And I'm happy for that. For me and for anybody in the area. Alright, let's go on to the next. Here's a bomb with 2 timers. Good luck. Alright, this is interesting. The detonator is connected to this timer. So whatever happens, I've got to stop this timer from running out. It's hardwired to power, so I can't stop the power. But is there a way I can stop the clock pulses? Well, let's trace it back. This AND gate is receiving a pulse no matter what. But we have this exclusive OR here. If we can get power to this leg, the exclusive OR will stop it. So if we trace it back, we're going through this orange wire, going to the output of this timer. If we want a signal out of here, we have to run this clock down to 0. Now the timer is getting clock pulses, or would be getting clock pulses from this oscillator, which is connected to this push button, capacitor, and another push button. So here's what we need to do. I need to charge the capacitor and then push this button. I'm going to do it again. Charge the capacitor, send the current along. So I'm basically draining the clock, because the faster I do that, the faster the output current will flow through that orange wire and feed to the exclusive OR to halt its own output. And that did it. So now this thing can pulse away, but it's not going any further, so this froze the clock. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Don't panic, but also don't wait too long. Now this one is ticking rapidly because it's receiving constant current through this OR gate via this rotary switch. So if I turn the switch, now it's only intermittently receiving pulses from this oscillator. That buys us some time. But really what we want to do is, we have an AND gate here. If we can stop the signal from getting through the AND gate, we can freeze the clock. We can't stop current from flowing through this oscillator, but we can stop current from flowing through this exclusive OR, which means we need current coming in through here. So I can divert current here and here. And that did it. Alright, we're cooking. Let's move on to the next level. Okay, this is a tricky one, because we have two timers. If this sends a signal, then this clock will start ticking as well. Now, just to show you what's possible here. Too slow. Now, you would think that once this clock starts up, there's no way to stop it. But there is a way. This timer is getting power from this timer. So if I cut power to this timer, then this timer will turn off as well. So let's examine what we need to do here. This timer is receiving power through here, through this OR gate. So we need to cut power to both inputs of the OR gate in order to do what we need. So how can we turn this off? Well, we have an exclusive OR that has one input. If we can put current through the second input, we can shut off this OR right here, or one side of it. So I can flip this switch and this switch. That puts us halfway there. Now, how do we turn off this OR gate? Well, we have power coming through here. We need power coming through here so the exclusive OR will stop current from getting through. Now to do that, we need current flowing through this AND gate. So I can just turn this switch, and that just cut power to both timers. So, fantastic. We defused the bomb. Awesome. Alright, let's move on to the next. What's this, another bomb? Okay, this one's going to be a little time consuming, no pun intended. It says, race condition. Both timers active. Select which timer should activate first. Let's look at what we have. We have this timer counting down. No way to stop that, because there's no way to stop this clock pulse from getting through the OR gate. If this counts down first, then the current flowing through here will satisfy the AND gate and kaboom. However, if we can stop this leg, then we'll be able to stop the detonator. To do that, we need current to flow through this input of the XOR, which means we need this timer to run down first. Now, this timer is getting clock pulses through this OR gate, and one leg of it is flowing through this exclusive OR, which has a capacitor. If I push this button, then the capacitor drains, and drains it quickly by about 27 seconds. So what I'm going to have to do is keep pushing this button over and over again until the timer wears down. So this is why we call it a race condition, because the clock I'm controlling is racing the other one that's just ticking away steadily on its own. Now, I admit this is going to take a few minutes, so what I'm going to do is fast forward things a little bit. Okay, so we've drained the clock, and now you notice that we no longer have any current flowing through this AND. So all we have to do is wait out this timer, because once it sends a signal, the AND gate will stop it. That took a little bit of work. I'm reminded of an old episode of The Jetsons where Jane tells her husband George, "Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Hard day at the button at work." So, let me hit I'm done. Alright, we defused it. Alright, let's keep on trucking. Things are heating up. This next bomb is pretty tricky. Do your best. Alright, so we have a bunch of oscillators, and they're all... They're slightly out of cycle. 2 are in sync, 2 are in sync but on a different rhythm. And what we need to do here is, you notice we have all these OR gates in a maze. What we need is for these two guys to pulse at the same time, and ditto for these, because if they're all pulsing at the same time, then nothing will pass through the exclusive ORs, which will stop clock pulses from getting to the timer. So let's look at this one. This OR is getting inputs from here and also from here, but they're still off sync. Let me adjust this one. Okay, this one is receiving pulses from... Some of the pulses are in sync, but there's also this OR gate, which is receiving pulses from here. So let me adjust this one and see what happens. And that did it. Using exclusive OR gates to cancel the pulses is pretty clever. Yeah, I have to agree. Because you notice these guys are pulsing in such a way that nothing's getting through, and so the clock is frozen. Excellent. Alright, let's move on to the next. I warned you. Alright. There's no way to cut power to the timer, so we have to concentrate on stopping the clock pulses. We have an OR gate here. We need to unsatisfy both legs of this AND. Now, this leg is getting signal from this oscillator. We can't stop that. But what we can do is get current flowing through here so that this exclusive OR will stop it. Now this AND is half satisfied. We need current flowing through here. So let's see, what can we do to satisfy this AND? Let's follow it back. Here's an exclusive OR. This input is receiving power no matter what, but this one is receiving power from this switch. So let's do this. Of course, now the timer is counting down a lot faster. Alright, what can we do about this one here? We have an exclusive OR. This leg is getting power from this switch, so let's turn this off. And that did it. That froze the clock. Alright, so this concludes our chapter on timers in Bomb Squad Academy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.